Chrissy, I promised you a video. This is it. I'm Seward. Okay? Welcome to Seward's Follies. I used to own all three of these houses, and now I own this one, which we are talking about, that's in play to sell, and the second one, the next one over. I'm on top of this roof so that you can see what I bought and why I bought it. And if you buy the house or anybody else buys the house, I'm going to try to tell you what motivated me to buy the house. Okay? And I'm going to swing the camera around from these three houses that I used to own. I'm going to swing the camera around and tell you, and this should explain why I bought the house. Okay? A lot. I don't consider I bought the house. I didn't buy these three houses. My mindset was I'm buying these three lots. Okay? And and the agent that helped me buy them, Tim Pontus, when I bought the second two houses, I came down when this house that I'm standing on the roof, when it was framed up, I had to come down and pick the interior. When I came down, those two houses over there with the solar panels, those lots hadn't been sold. So I inquired with Tim, are those for sale? And he says, yeah. And he suggested putting the smallest model on those lots. He said, if you can get the lots, and we both understood I wanted the lots more than the house. And he says, well, if you really want those lots, the cheapest way you can get them is to put our loss leader. our cheapest one, the $99,000 house, the 1,000 square foot on those lots. He said that way you could get both of them for the cheapest price. So that's what I did. I put the smallest house on three of the smallest houses on three of the larger lots along this lake. But this is the signature hole, the par 3 signature hole. The green is over there behind that tree. The tee box is right there in front of us. The ladies' tee box. Over there is the men's tee box. Behind those trees over there is the 5th green. Over there is the 7th tee box. All those houses across the way, the first day I saw this property in October 2013, the first time I saw it, the only houses and the only structures and the only growth out here were these models. Where you see all those red flowers over there, that was the design center. That's where I had to pick the interiors for all three houses. Next to it to the left used to be the sales office. But the sales office wasn't set up for living, it was set up for sale. So when they moved to the new location for models up near the clubhouse, they raised the old sales office and sold another house there. But those houses across the lake are about 220 yards away. What you're looking at over there, half a mile away, is the Fry's. You got bank, you've got a lot of eateries, you got Walmart, you got Lowe's, lots of retail. And on the previous picture, I didn't talk during that big 360 turn because I was up on the top of the roof. on the peak of the roof. I wanted to do a 360 of where we're at. But we're 35 miles to the west of a parking lot on the airport. The airport parking lot, we're 35 miles to the west. It's a hazy day today, so it's hard to see. If it would have rained last night and the air was clear, we'd have clarity, but that mountain range off in the distance, look for that big, it's obvious it's a cell tower disguised as a palm tree, but that cell tower just beyond it is South Mountain. It's 29 miles as the crow flies away. All your broadcast signals for broadcast TV come out of it. That's why, and I want to take this over and show you, I'm going to try to zoom in on it. That antenna right there, and I have an antenna on the house I'm standing on. That antenna right there gives me about 70 channels, and it comes from South Mountain. This is an ideal place for antenna and broadcast TV. I haven't had cable TV in about 6 years. I've had antenna, that antenna, I got it approved, I applied for it, got it approved, and it's up. But I don't have cable TV. Broadcast TV is enough. Now I want to show you my yard. That line of plants right there, that's the yard boundary. That's the golf course. Alright, when I had to regrade the lot, I had to tear out all the old landscaping that I paid $3,000 a lot. All three of these lots were $3,000 a piece to have landscaped. I had to tear out the landscaping on 2 lots. 9 years, 10 years after I was here when I found out that this was poorly graded. If you look at that spinner right there, and you look, I had to regrade. My neighbor's lot is all pitched. When you look at these plants right there, that's all high ground. And the water runs right to here between my houses. What I've done down here, you don't see any weeds down there. The reason you don't see any weeds down there is because there's 2 layers of plastic covered with layers of tar paper underneath that rock. And there's a 4-inch drain that runs from there out to just beyond that spinner. Just beyond that spinner, I had to dig about a 4 foot by 4 foot by 4 foot deep hole and fill it with leach rock. It's a dry well, so I had to install a dry well there. And over there, right in the middle where you see that cement casting and the bird, there's another place there's a dry well, and I'll go over here now. Another thing this lot is burdened with, not only being a undocumented, undisclosed, non-compliant retention basin, but you see how close that tee box is to this lot? There isn't a problem if you have golfers that know what they're doing. Like the early morning group, if somebody's got a groove swing, it's no problem. But we all know somebody's got to begin, and beginning golfers make bad shots. They make errant shots. Well, every time there's an errant shot, because of this proximity being so close, I've always got people hitting balls in my yard. They break windows, they hit balls in my yard, and when the ball comes in my yard, they think they have the right to walk into my yard and collect their ball. I've had people standing on my patio. I get up in the morning, I go to the kitchen window, and I got people standing on my patio, turning my furniture over looking for a golf ball. And when I approach them and go, "What the hell are you doing?" they immediately say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just looking for my ball." That isn't getting it. I don't care about you're sorry. Get off my property. and they get real indignant and they go, listen, I told you, I'm looking for my golf ball. And the golf course does nothing to try to convince the golfing public that they don't have a right to walk up here. But anyway, we started the video this way, and I'm going to go down and walk around the house with the camera. First, I'm going to go over to the other side so that you can see the green. Well, you can see part of the green. But that's from that tee box right there, and that's the ladies' tee box. That railing, the ladies' tee box, there's no documentation that support that railing and that tee box being there, and that pipe being there. The only document for the plans for that pipe, the pipe was supposed to end up there, 89 feet shorter, and it was supposed to be about 5 to 6 feet higher at its outlet than it was. That's what I have to tell every prospective buyer. I have to tell every prospective buyer the truth. I'm bound by it. Ethically, honesty, I have to disclose to them what I know about the lot. And I know there's no plan, there's no substitute plan for the utility to have that pipe that long. It fell through the cracks.